Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, today we're exploring inimzi-The, the Whisper That
Now,
Awakens.
this one's a wild ride.
Definitely is, full of twists and turns and things that just make you rethink everything. This book centers around a really intriguing concept, the fire that awakens.
You know, it's fascinating how this idea of fire pops up in so many spiritual traditions.
Right. And this book connects it to all sorts of stuff, ancient myths, Gnostic wisdom, even quantum physics.
It's a really unique blend of ideas, that's for sure.
Definitely. And one of the things that really got me thinking was the book's take on hell.
Yeah, it challenges the traditional view in a big way.
Yeah, it completely flips the script. Instead of a place of eternal torment, it suggests that hell might actually be something else entirely.
More like a process of purification, a necessary step on the path to enlightenment.
So not a punishment, but a transformation.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
The book suggests that the traditional view of hell, the fire and brimstone and all that, might be a deliberate distortion.
A distortion. Why would someone distort it?
Well, the book argues that it's all about control, instilling fear to keep people in line.
Interesting. Who benefits from that fear?
Religious institutions, for one, political powers, too, and then there's this whole other layer, these beings called Archons.
Archons, that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's a bit out there, but the book describes them as these negative energy beings, sort of like parasites, feeding off our fear and ignorance.
So they're keeping us trapped in a state of fear.
Exactly. The book argues that they benefit from us staying stuck in the material world, disconnected from our true potential.
Okay, so we've got these archons, we've got powerful groups manipulating our fear, and the concept of hell gets twisted in the process.
It's a lot to unpack, for
Mhm.
sure, but it definitely makes you question the narratives we've been fed.
Now let's talk about this fire that awakens, because it's woven throughout the book, right? And it's not just about hell, it's a much broader concept.
Absolutely. Fire is a symbol that's been used in countless ways throughout history. It can represent destruction, but it also represents purification, transformation, renewal.
Like the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Exactly. Or the myth of Prometheus, who brought fire, representing knowledge to humanity.
And even in nature, forest fires are necessary for new growth. They clear out the old, making space for the new.
Right. And the book connects this concept of fire to spiritual transformation. It's about burning away the old, outdated beliefs, the things that hold us back from our true potential.
So it's like an inner fire that refines and purifies us.
That's a great way to put it. And what's really fascinating is that the book connects this ancient wisdom to modern science.
Yeah, that's what I love about this book. It's like bridging the gap between ancient wisdom and modern understanding.
It delves into quantum physics, suggesting that some of these ancient spiritual concepts might actually have a scientific basis.
Give me an example.
Well, think about wave-particle duality. Quantum physics shows us that particles can behave like waves and particles at the same time. And what determines how they behave? Observation.
So the way we look at something affects how it behaves.
Precisely. And this connects to the book's discussion of the soul. It asks, are we both matter, like a particle, and energy, like a wave? Could enlightenment be a shift from a limited particle state to an unlimited wave state?
Whoa, that's a mind bender.
Right. It's like saying our potential expands when we shift our consciousness.
So it's not just about what we know, but how we perceive things.
Exactly. And the book even takes it a step further, using the idea of quantum entanglement to explore the interconnectedness of all things.
Quantum entanglement. Remind me what that is again.
Imagine two coins, always flipped at the same time, landing on opposite sides no matter how far apart they are. That's similar to what we see with quantum entanglement.
Yeah.
Particles that are linked no matter the distance.
So the book is suggesting this might be happening with souls too.
That's what it explores. This idea that we might all be connected on some deeper level, beyond the limitations of space and time.
Does that mean separation is just an illusion?
That's one of the questions the book raises. It challenges us to reconsider everything we think we know about time and reality. And it leads us to another challenging concept, the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, the book's interpretation of that story is pretty mind-blowing.
But it really flips the script.
Yeah.
Instead of a paradise, it suggests that the Garden of Eden might have been a controlled environment.
To keep humans ignorant.
Exactly. And it even questions the traditional view of the serpent as evil, suggesting it could be a symbol of liberation, offering knowledge through the forbidden fruit.
So the serpent is actually the good guy in this version.
It's not so much about good versus evil, but about knowledge versus ignorance.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole concept of the Demiurge.
The Demiurge. What's that?
It's a Gnostic concept, a lesser creator god who seeks to maintain control.
So not the ultimate source of creation.
No, more like a middle manager trying to keep things under control. And the Supin challenges that control.
Wow, that's a whole new way to look at the story.
It makes you wonder if we're still trapped in a metaphorical Garden of Eden, limited by beliefs that keep us from accessing our true potential.
That's a great question. And speaking of challenging beliefs, I think it's time to move on to the book's interpretation of Jesus' teachings.
You know, the book really dives deep into how Jesus' teachings might actually be about breaking free from that demiurge's control.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, it keeps coming back to the symbol of the tree of knowledge. You know, that idea of a divine spark inside each of us, just waiting to be awakened.
So it's about tapping into our own inner wisdom instead of relying on external authority.
Right. The book even brings in the Gnostic Gospels. You familiar with those?
I've heard of them. Aren't they like alternative versions of the gospel?
Yeah, they were left out of the traditional Bible. And one of the most interesting ones is the Gospel of Thomas. It's all about self-discovery, not blind obedience.
Reminds me of that line from the Gospel of Thomas, something like, "The kingdom is inside you, and it is outside you."
Exactly. That's one of the quotes the book highlights. It's saying enlightenment isn't out there somewhere. It's within us. We just have to tap into it.
But if that's the case, why were the Gnostic texts suppressed?
The book suggests it's because they empowered individuals to question authority, you know, to find their own truth instead of blindly following dogma.
Makes sense. Those in power wouldn't want people thinking for themselves. And the book also reinterprets the Ten Commandments, doesn't it?
It does. It suggests they're not just a set of rules, but more like a roadmap to spiritual awakening.
Okay, so how does that work?
Well, take the first commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me. The book suggests it's not about worshiping an external god, but recognizing the divine within yourself.
So it's about recognizing your own inherent worth and power.
Exactly. And another example, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. That could be a warning against mistaking symbols or rituals for the real deal, you know, the true essence of spirituality.
It's like saying, don't get caught up in the superficial stuff, go deeper.
Right. And the book suggests that all the commandments, when you understand them this way, they encourage self-mastery, inner guidance.
So instead of being tools for control, they become guides for personal empowerment.
Exactly. And then the book tackles another big topic, reincarnation.
Reincarnation, yeah, a lot of spiritual traditions believe in that.
Right. But this book challenges whether it's truly necessary. Like, is it a natural part of the soul's journey, or is it something that keeps us trapped in a cycle?
So it's questioning the whole idea of coming back life after life.
Yeah. It suggests that true transformation can happen in the present moment, making reincarnation unnecessary.
I'm sensing a theme here. Present moment awareness.
Right. And the book ties this back to quantum physics. You know, that idea of time as an illusion, all possibilities existing simultaneously.
Wait, are we going back to quantum physics again?
It all connects. The book suggests we're constantly choosing which reality to experience.
So we have the power to create our reality in this lifetime without needing to come back over and over.
It's a challenging idea, but it opens up some pretty amazing possibilities.
And then the book dives into the history of Christianity, suggesting that Jesus' message was hijacked.
That's right. It explores how the original teachings were distorted to create a system of control.
So they took a message of love and liberation and twisted it into something else entirely.
Exactly. The book talks about how Paul shifted the focus from self-realization to blind faith. And then there's the Council of Nicaea, where they basically standardized Christian beliefs.
So it became about fitting into a specific doctrine, not about personal exploration.
Right, and they cherry-picked texts for the Bible and suppressed others that didn't fit their narrative.
It's like they created a whole system designed to control people, not to empower them.
And the book encourages us to question that system, to look beyond the dogma, and connect with the true essence of Jesus' teachings.
So what happens as more people start waking up to this? The book talks about a potential backlash from the old world, right?
It does. It suggests those clinging to the old ways, the ones who benefit from the current system, they'll resist this shift.
Using whatever tactics they can.
Exactly. Fear, division. They might even try to co-opt the awakening, repackaging it into something that serves their agenda.
So we need to be aware of the forces trying to keep us asleep, keep us in the dark.
Right. It's not just about waking up ourselves. It's about recognizing the systems that are trying to prevent that from happening.
And the book suggests that as more and more people awaken, their power diminishes.
Exactly. It's like a shift in the collective consciousness.
A tipping point where the old systems can no longer hold their grip.
And the book explores what might happen as that shift occurs. It's a fascinating journey into the unknown, and it's just getting started.
Wow, this deep dive has been a wild ride. We've explored some pretty intense concepts. The fire that awakens, the illusion of reality, even the possibility that we're living in a dream.
It's definitely a lot to process, but the book doesn't leave us hanging. It offers a message of hope and empowerment.
Yeah, it definitely feels like there's a sense of possibility running through it all. So, where does it leave us? What's the takeaway?
The book emphasizes that we're not just passive observers. We're active participants in creating our reality.
So, it's not about escaping some external system of control. It's about, remembering who we truly are.
Exactly. It's about tapping into that creative power within each of us. And it uses this metaphor of an architect.
An architect, not in the traditional sense, I'm guessing.
No, it's about being the architect of our own experience,
Hmm.
shaping our reality with our consciousness, our beliefs, our intentions.
That's a powerful idea. But honestly, it's kind of daunting. If we're caught in this illusion, how do we break free and start creating something different?
Well, the book keeps coming back to this idea of remembering. It's like we've forgotten our true nature, our connection to the infinite source, our power as creators.
So we're not learning something new, we're remembering something we already know.
Right. And this awakening isn't just happening individually, it's happening collectively.
So as more people wake up, the collective consciousness shifts.
Exactly. It's like a ripple effect, transforming the fabric of reality.
That makes me wonder, if reality is just a projection of our consciousness, does that mean there's no objective truth? Is it all just subjective?
That's a big question. And the book acknowledges there are no easy answers. It's like we're all looking at the same world, but through different lenses.
So maybe there is a universal truth, but our understanding of it is always evolving.
Right. And the journey of awakening isn't about finding some fixed answer. It's about expanding our awareness.
It's about letting go of those rigid beliefs and opening ourselves up to new possibilities.
Exactly. But the book also acknowledges that this transition won't be easy. There's going to be resistance from those who benefit from the old ways of thinking.
So how do we navigate this time of change? How do we prepare for what's to come?
Well, the book doesn't give us a step-by-step guide, but it emphasizes the importance of staying grounded, connected to our intuition.
It's about trusting ourselves, even when things feel chaotic.
Right. And it's about recognizing that we're not powerless. We have the power to shape our reality, to co-create a better future.
So it's not about waiting for someone else to fix things or for some external event to save us. It's about taking responsibility for our own awakening.
That's the heart of it. We're not victims, we're creators.
Wow. This deep dive has really opened my eyes to a whole new way of seeing the world.
That's the power of knowledge and awakening. It changes everything.
So what's the one thing you hope listeners will take away from this deep dive?
I hope they'll remember that they're not separate from the divine. We all have this incredible power within us.
The power to create, to heal, to transform.
Exactly. And this journey doesn't end here. It's just the beginning.
That's a great reminder. Thank you so much for taking us on this deep dive. It's been an incredible journey.
The pleasure was all mine. And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that fire of awakening burning bright.
Until next time.